Good afternoon. Today is the Thursday, April 16, 2015 meeting of the Athens City Planning Commission. A quorum has been established. We have 2 members missing. One may show up here in a little bit. The administration of the oath, is there anyone here planning to address the commission this afternoon?
All of you are.
If you are, just raise your hand and do you affirm to tell the truth as best you know it to the Planning Commission? Great, thank you very much. Okay, we'll open up with a public hearing of the Community Development Implementation Strategy, CDIS. Mayor?
Okay, yeah, I can take it from here for this particular section. This is part of our CDBG allocation money that we do yearly. The application requirement usually normally requires 2 public hearings, and they've added a new portion of it, being the Community Development Implementation Strategy meeting, where I should listen and will listen to input for where we might take the money. The allocation money is about $75,000. It's an application that goes through. We have yearly for projects. It is a public hearing, so there is a sign-in sheet going around. So if you get a chance, sign in, so we know the public's in place. It's usually a set amount of money. Some of it goes to actually fair housing education. Other portion of it goes to administration. The lion's share of it goes to areas of low and moderate income that are required to be improved in terms of development within the area. In the past, we've done everything. Let's see. In the past, in 2014, we added it to our critical infrastructure program, CDBG program, which was a depot lift stations, $375,000. 2013, we did the Richland House. This is by Station 2 on Richland Avenue for rehab and with the idea of housing for low and moderate income, administered by the Athens Metropolitan Housing Authority. 2012, we added it to our project, Columbus Road and Lancaster Street improvement. And 2011, we added to the Grosvenor Street slip repair. Part of the thrust of this is that we have several. There are other programs there that match, and we can add to it. Some being the allocation program again, the downtown revitalization program, neighborhood revitalization, and critical infrastructure. Residential and public infrastructure program is also there. I believe I'm probably repeating everything that's on a sheet over there, or maybe not. Are there copies out there? Okay. Some of the requirements, of course, is that we have to be within the census areas of low and moderate income. They've changed some of the parameters, so some of the actual census blocks within the city have fallen out below the 50% mark. I believe if you drill down, you could actually get down to the individual streets by census. And correct me on any of this if I'm wrong, Charlene. She's attended all the workshops on this since they have been moving the procedure around. The main thrust of this, of course, is to get some input, ideas, strategies where we move forward with this type of money. The other statement I really want to make you aware of is that the Development Service Agency, who administers the CDBG allocation, it says basically has determined that our revolving loan fund, our economic development revolving micro-enterprise CDBG revolving loan fund, is basically stagnant and is not in use and is in excess of $100,000. So they will require us actually to pull some of that money out when we apply for anything. So we will have to put up a certain percentage of match from our revolving loan fund. The difficulty with this, of course, is that revolving loan fund is a program where you actually put out loans for gap financing for businesses, and you get that money back in return. So it's, as I said, a revolving loan fund, so therefore it would be reused over and recycled over and over again. The determination they have, because we're not using it adequately or as robustly as they would like, they will probably require us to pull some of that money out. That's a factor I'm a little bit leery of. We're going to move forward with the grant process, but again, when the time comes, we'll have to make that decision whether we want to, steal our capital, so to speak, where we can keep it as a revolving loan fund. I probably should open up to any questions and input. Some of the things that you're given is probably community profile, the list of what we've done before, and the census tracts. I believe there's copies of that over there. questions?
If you, do you need them to go to the podium? Or?
Yes.
If you do care to address the commission, please go to the podium and just state your name and address. Okay.
There will be another public hearing, as I said, where we're trying to formulate what projects we want to do at this point. The one that has come up to the surface right now is trying to do the rebuild of Franklin Avenue. It's very similar to Grover Street. That would require, of course, a lot more money than just the allocation dollars. But we're also open and want to receive other alternatives. There's a lot of possibilities of better activities to do. Again, this is a community development block grant, and it's the way it's fixed amount actually can help some of the projects we might have if we determine those projects are worthwhile. So I'm open to input. I'm open to critiquing and anything else.
If I may speak to the Franklin Avenue rehabilitation, it's to, if you've driven on Franklin Avenue, you can see that the pavement, of course, is distressed, but it's also to address some storm drainage improvements as well as curb, and there'll be spot sidewalk. Sidewalk will be similar to what we've been doing all along in terms of projects. There'll be sidewalk assessments to the property owners for those improvements. So.
I think one of the intentions is trying getting all those telephone poles out of the middle of the sidewalk, too.
We're going to try.
And the ones that are tilting, which means there's a little bit of motion there.
John Kornansky, Westside Neighborhood Association. I just have a quick question. I looked through the documents that I received online, and is this money available for neighborhood revitalizations?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm reading through it, and it says many things, but it says infrastructure projects. So would that pertain to walls?
Probably if the wall is structurally deficient. If you're talking about...
Yes, if the wall is structurally deficient, and does it have to be, like some walls are the property owner's responsibility because they support the house, other walls are not. Mm-hmm. So would it only pertain to the others?
Yeah, usually the policy the Public Works has been using is that if it's holding up the street, it's our problem. If it's holding up your house, it's your problem. Okay. Okay. Example of that was occurring on Grosvenor. Well, we did quite a bit of work on Grosvenor, if you remember, but it was holding up the street portion, so the downhill side, whereas you have actually homeowners who have had to replace some of their wall on the uphill side.
Right.
So, okay.
So would apply to walls on the...
Holding up the street.
Holding up the streets. Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions?
Not right at this moment, but
okay.
We're working on it.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm working on technical difficulties.
Oh, and that technical difficulty is?
Whether or not that's a mic.
Oh, it is. Just clip it on.
Okay. So anyone else care to speak in regards to the community development implementation? Okay.
In the past, we've used this also to leverage other grants. That's the other aspect of it. I mean, most of the projects we have are in excess of $60,000 to $70,000. But if you can do a local match or you can do a mix and match, it works out to stretch the dollars further. That I find is one of the best uses of this at the time. That said, as I say, do we have a time set for the next public hearing yet?
We do not yet.
Okay. We'll put that in a paper and inform everybody when we get a chance. So, and don't forget to fill out the sign-in sheet wherever it is, just to prove that you've been here.
I did have one other inquiry, and it was the downtown revitalization program. And Shar, I didn't know if you could speak to it or not. Whether or not the funds would come too late for the West Union Street rebuild. That is a good question. I'm not positive, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It says available to local governments in the critique of it. And it also says 50% match is required. Yeah.
still have that.
I don't know the timetable of it. I guess that's what we'd have to look up. But that'd be something to explore.
Because typically we do projects for next year, that's how it works more than the
So is it a fiscal year? It'd be October?
It typically starts in September, the grant period.
Deadline, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, the grant period would start, but really it's work for next year. So it'd be, fiscal 2016.
Did last year's, will it apply to this year?
We are working on last year's.
That's already spent.
2014 for
Already spent?
this year. Yes,
Yeah.
we've
It's
already
the
done that.
lift station on Depot.
Oh, that's right.
It's part of that mix.
So we're doing the application this year, but technically the work is next year.
Okay. So in terms of trying to fix the Union Street area, it'd be different.
I think John has an update for us.
I will at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
Okay. I guess we close it down then.
Okay. Moving on to disposition of minutes. Are there any comments, changes, additions that need to be made to amend the minutes from last meeting, or are we good?
They look good to me. The only comment I would have is that we bring back at some time communications, the bed and breakfast.
Okay, yes. I move we accept the minutes of, what was that, March 19th.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nancy? Oh, sorry, okay. So we have one abstention
Okay.
and 3 in favor,
Yes.
and 1 member who's not present.
I'm a little bit late on this. I'd like to amend the agenda to switch some of the cases around, if that's possible.
Okay, and how would you like to do that?
I would like to take the 2 telecommunication cases, 1505 and 1506 first.
No, the kids.
Do we need to vote on that?
Probably need a second in the vote.
Okay, second? To changing the order?
I'm sorry, what was
Second.
Second?
I was listening with this.
Okay, what we were talking about is changing, putting the 2 telecommunication cases first. I suspect they won't be as long as the lot
Okay.
split. So 1505 would be the first, 1506 would be second, 1504 would be third in terms of cases.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's
Okay.
unanimous.
Great.
Okay, so with that in mind, we could begin with case number 15-05, Verizon Monticello Towers, the wireless telecommunications special use permit modifications. Mr. Paskey?
Yes, this is quite simply a modification at Monticello Tower from, going to get it right yet today, Verizon. On this, I got Verizon and Sprint here. So, and you can see in your report there, the recommendation and conclusion is that designs of the modified tower and foundations are sufficient for the proposed loading in accordance with the above loading criteria and will not require modification. So it's just a pretty simple switch out of the antennas and maybe some of the fiber, and the applicant, Debbie, is here to speak to it if you have any questions on it.
Mr. Mayor?
So there's no change in the footprint, obviously. In terms of the hardware that's going to be placed on top, that's on the tower. Is it larger, smaller, more or less?
The antennas are a little bit, the only change in the antennas are in the length, and they're only going to be like 20 inches longer. The depth and the width are going to be the same. They're the same color. Everything else is the same. The weight's going to be a little bit different. The new antennas are 40.6 pounds. The old antennas were 38.4. So there's not a great difference in weight. There were 12 antennas before. There's going to be 9 now. So it kind of balances out that way. We're swapping out the remote radio heads. We're going to change out, the last ones weighed 43 pounds, the new ones weigh 55 pounds. So there's a little bit, those are a little bit heavier. But there's not that big of a difference in weight in any of the equipment. And as you can see, the structural cast at 95% for the tower components and 35% for the foundation.
Okay. I know you were here last month, I think, right?
Yeah.
And this is for the towers up, the towers on the parking garage, I believe, right?
The last one was.
The last one was. Is this a similar swap out, so to speak? This is upgrade of
Yes.
everything in general? Okay,
Yeah.
just wanted to, okay.
What does 35.9% sufficient foundation mean?
I know what it
To a
means this
layperson?
time.
Okay.
It's going to not fall down the hill like the
Well,
rest of it.
compared to the 95.9% for the tower components.
My guess would be that the tower is at 95.9% of its capacity, and the foundation's only at 35.9% of its capacity.
Exactly, and it's good that the tower, that the foundation is only at 35%. It's easy a tower will pass up to 105%, and you can keep modifying a tower to hold more and more and more equipment. You know, it's harder to modify a foundation, so we're really good there. But as it stands, it's passing at 95%.
Thank you.
Okay.
Are there any other questions from the commission?
No.
Mr. Paskey? We're all good there? Okay. So we want to vote on the modification approval?
I move that we approve 1505, the modification of the Monticello wireless tower.
Second?
Second?
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous vote? Minus the one person who's not here. Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next would be case number 15-06, which would be the Sprint Parking Garage Wireless Telecommunications Special Use Permit, alteration to application. Mr. Paskey?
This one's a little bit different. You may remember quite some time back when we did a conditional approval for a wireless telecommunications at the parking garage for the towers on top of the stairwells where they were to replace the roof. And they've done a lot of work on it since then, and now their proposal, and it's a whole new application, is to eliminate the towers that are on top of the stairwells now and fix the roof, and then mount the towers on the perimeter of the parking garage through the brick and the block of the structure. This would be conditional, if approval is granted, is conditional upon the report coming back from Burgess and Nyepel supporting that the tower, our existing brickwork and blockwork would support such a use.
And I see a letter here from Burgess and Nyepel dated April 6th, I believe. Is that
That's a
it?
letter from
Say they're going to take it on?
Yeah, that they're willing to take it on, yes.
They do not have results yet, though, I have to assume.
No, reason I did this is I thought before they invested in the money to do it, that they'd find out if it can be conditionally approved through us through the city, if this is an acceptable way of fixing the situation or resolving the situation. So I think Mr. Jenkins is here from General Dynamics. He can speak more to the location and so on and so forth.
Okay. Would you care to come forward? And for the record, could you please just state your name again and who you work for?
Yep, Pat Jenkins, and I work for General Dynamics Information Technology. We're the project manager for Sprint on this particular project. And as Mr. Paskey mentioned, we have already got a set of antennas on the roof across the street from us, of course, and they're on what we call a tripod-type mount, sitting on the stairwells. And for a lot of reasons, not a good thing because of wear and tear on the roof and so on and so forth. So what we've done is taken upon ourselves to our engineers, Harper Engineering Group, which is also cited on the drawings that are present, has approved and does approve the structural. I do understand that it still is pending Nyepel's approval as well. But we do have a preliminary engineering status that says it is sufficient and it's a block brick combination to mount. Aesthetically, it wouldn't change at all. If anything, it would clean it up because all the steel that holds the actual tower will be gone. That will no longer be there. It is a simple installation, and then that will also allow us, what we already have in position and postured is Mr. Johnson's company for redoing the roofing, which was selected from the city. He's already postured, he's just waiting for us. The only reason why he couldn't start to do the roof repair is simply we got to get the steel off the roof. And a solution to that situation was kind of twofold. Put them on the wall vertically. The height appearance would be almost identical. I was looking at the site specifically yesterday and again this morning with measurements. The height changes will not change. The thing that would clean up is the aesthetic look. You won't see the what I would consider maybe a cage sitting on top of the stairwells holding the antennas. All you would see is strictly the antennas themselves. So what we're looking for is the ability to, one, rectify the roof repair problem as soon as we can get that taken care of, and two, the solution for that would be to go to a wall mount application. And as I mentioned before, Harper Engineering, which is already stated on the drawings, which has actually done the work, which is our in-house engineering group, has approved it, and I do have an additional report. I didn't get a chance to get it to Mr. Baskey yet, but I do have that if you care to review it. But again, I also reserve and understand that your city engineer would need to bless it as well.
Questions?
Yes, a few. Okay, so really what you're doing is removing the tower and you're going to be attaching the antennas to the actual elevator structure. Is that what I'm seeing right there?
The face of it. Mm-hmm.
So it's not really, okay, originally when I was hearing this, I thought you'd be putting it on the perimeter of our parking garage, but it's actually the elevator shaft structure.
That's correct.
Will you have to attach it? Are you actually talking about piercing the structure itself or just to the wall side? In other words,
It would be 4 5/8-inch holes that would be bored through the block, straight through, with a through rod and backplated with a steel backplate. That's how the structural engineer stated. And then to the front of that face would merely be the pipe. And if any of you had an opportunity to actually look at that structure across the street, you'll see it's just like a fence post, if you would, holding the face of the physical antenna.
okay, and I'm counting 9 of these on 3 sides. Is that how it's going to work?
That's correct, 3 sides. Mm-hmm.
On both towers.
On both
Yeah, 9 on both towers.
stairwells, that's correct.
Yeah, each stairwell.
I might add in there as well, right now, currently, would be the existing ones. The additional one, because we were here, we thought we don't want to have to go through this again. We don't want your city to have to go through it again. So we built in for an expansion ability for Sprint.
Okay.
So should that get approved and get the desire to do it, it will have the capability of processing. But right now, it's for the existing, what they call New Vision Antenna Program.
Okay. And overall, there's a reduction height of your antennas? I mean,
Very minor, it's about 6 inches is all it would be. It's so minor, I don't even know if you'd physically see a difference.
and those support towers would disappear, both of those?
Yes, the towers that hold those would all go away. All that structural steel that you see up there would be removed.
Okay.
And, of course, the repair of the existing roof,
I
which
didn't-
Sprint is taking care of, but, yeah.
I didn't fully understand when you stated that you're building in expansion capabilities.
Well, every communications system always has growth potential and hopes to grow, just like you just saw from Verizon. You know, they're changing out, modifying towers, equipment, electronic equipment. And what we've done is put in there the maximum that we could possibly think could ever be needed. And we wanted to make sure, for the simple reason that I really, sometimes I've been accused of outplanning a project. I kind of like to outsee its growth to make sure that you don't have to have an issue come back again and reface the city or the council or structural for that matter. But currently, that they call the New Vision Antenna Program, that's their program they're on right now, is the one that is up on the roof. So we're trying to accommodate basically what I just mentioned.
And the reason why I asked about going through the structure itself, I know we had issues about the previous tower that's not yours, going through the deck flooring, and therefore actually not helping the situation there.
No.
In terms of opening up. We have coating there that prevents degradation of the concrete, as well as the rebar. So that's, I guess, why I was asking about the boring through that.
Well, when I do add too, what they do add is an epoxy filament that goes through there with the through rod as well, so it fills the whole solid back into its almost original condition. Probably a little bit stronger, really, when you think about the tensile strength of the steel rod itself plus the epoxy sealant. So there virtually is no vertical or any horizontal puddling at all that could occur. That's part of the problem that occurred with this existing system that's there. The weight, the load, the wear, just in general, the wind, all added to, the breakdown of the membrane.
Okay.
Just to be clear again on this expansion, I see it in here listed as future. Would those require coming back for it?
Any
That's what I thought.
modification would
Yes.
Just
require
wanted to make
coming
that
back.
Yes.
clear.
Absolutely.
Still have to go through the process.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Any other questions or comments? Yes. Care to come to the podium and please state your name?
Mike Canterbury, Athens City Council.
Get to a mic there. Mike.
Mike Canterbury, Athens City Council. First of all, thanks, because I like people that plan ahead for different things of that nature. But now, will this agreement change our lease agreement that we have now that's in place?
It shouldn't, but we probably need to renegotiate it eventually, yes.
Because I was thinking the lease agreement was for as it is right now, and so now we're modifying it to take it from here and move it over. And so that would deem to me that it would change the lease agreement.
The lease agreements do need renegotiated, as you know, as you're well painfully aware, in terms of the almost $2 million project that we're undertaking for that. So we will be entering into negotiations on both lease agreements here. But it's separate from their approval today regarding, that's a good point, though.
I guess we're looking towards Burgess and Eichel to tell us whether it's structurally sound or not. In terms of the work that we have to do in a parking garage, the other question, of course, would be whether this work would interfere with our rebuild of the parking garage, too, I mean, in terms of timing and...
Well, I would state, because it is Burgess and Eichel who we contract with to provide these reviews, and they're also going to be the contract engineer for the project, they'll make sure that it's coordinated.
Okay.
Just like you indicated about the roof repair if it's needed.
Okay, so that would be one of the conditions, I guess.
Correct. One of the conditions should be, and I believe you brought that up from the beginning, John, if they receive approval, it'll be conditional based on the engineering report.
Yep.
It'd be nice to have that same that we did for the one we just did, that said the sufficiency rating. So.
Most of this will be our structure. In fact, I wonder, is it a cell tower anymore once you stick just antennas on something?
I can reassure you the efficiency ratings on, and I mean, I'm not going to, but on a masonry wall, that the antennas mounted to it versus a tower, efficiency ratings for the structure are going to be much, much, much greater. I wouldn't imagine this would be even more than 5-10% in all likelihood, but let Burgess and Eichel come back with that. So.
Any other questions or comments? Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll move to approve with the condition that the engineer firm reviews and approves the improvements.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.